Far, far to the east of mankind's great cities, there live a people who, rumor said, can live forever. Their existence fueled by the energies of nature. As tales of these elves made their way west, one man was inspired to cheat his own death. This is his story, the story of the first vampire. At the end of the Bronze Age, the great kingdom of Kisselin was in decline, and two close friends shared a dream of restoring its lost glory. One, Yod, the son of Kisselin's great priest king. The other, a great and powerful mage, Maz. As they grew older, Maz became the most powerful animator on the continent, and Yod succeeded his father's throne and led the realm's armies against the invading kobolds. While war brought Yod glory, Maz, born sickly, felt only the fear of death. Inspired by the merchant's tales of the elves, the mage began to research, seeking to copy their strange powers. Years dragged on, and the war began to turn against the humans. It began to seem like Maz would surely die before finishing his life's work. But then, he had a breakthrough. Through a so-called soul parasite, he was able to empower himself. His body became younger, stronger, faster, more powerful than even the greatest soldiers of the realm. Signs of his lifelong sickness seemed to vanish. Overjoyed, he ran from a secluded tower to tell Yod, but within mere moments of the sun touching his skin, mortality returned. All that had pained him for years was back, and he fled once again into his study. He recreated his experiment, but now kept to the darkness. He ventured outside only in the dead of night, and spent the day secluded within his tower. The palace staff noticed a change in his mannerisms, and especially how he seemed to hoard many of the palace's valuables, but none were brave enough to confront the king's most trusted advisor. Plus, a string of disappearances among the palace staff kept most of the servants too overworked anyways. On campaign, the king began to hear rumors of his old friend, but could not truly believe it. He began to journey back to the capital city, Luge, and soon arrived at his palace, finding it understaffed. But Yod was undeterred and made to reunite with his old friend. The tower was silent. There wasn't even a single candle burning. Through a deep fog, the king and his guard kept walking forward. The stairs creaked as the men climbed up, 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 until they finally arrived in the wizard's study and pushed open the aging door. Maz was curled up on the floor, muttering to himself. His mind was broken and blood coated his mouth. But when the mage saw his old friend Yod, a flash of recognition flowed through his mind. Maz lunged, fangs bared, biting down on the king's throat, only to be pulled off by the royal guard. Yod drew his sword and the two friends fought. Maz cut through the king's guard as Yod backed down through the tower stairs towards the palace and the rest of his army, only to find his army under attack, Maz having infected a few of the other palace staff with his curse. A great battle raged. Maz seemed unkillable, as he rapidly healed from every wound Yod inflicted in his attempts to hold the beast off. Soon, the dawn began to approach, the vampires trying to flee back inside or fear being caught in the open and slain. Yod saw his opportunity, attempting to force his foe into one of the shafts of light beaming through the damaged palace. Eventually, he succeeded, pushing Maz into the sun. The vampire was cured, and the sickness and age of his lost years began to rapidly catch up to him. he was dying. And in his last moments, mind clear, he offered his old friend a sealed bottle. His own blood, protected from the lights and still carrying the vampiric curse. Maz implored Yod to destroy it. Perhaps if he had, the world would be in a better place today. See, the old mage had discovered that rather than needing to create a new soul parasite for every vampire, the curse could be spread by drinking the blood of the infected. Whether it was King Yod himself or one of his soldiers, someone must have drunk from the bottle and propagated the curse. For soon enough, reports and stories of vampires would begin to arise across the worlds of Aufeyne. None can truly know how many vampires haunt the lands today, but I can leave you a piece of advice. Never travel alone or unarmed on a dark and moonless night.